George, thank you. You can see and hear me. Excellent. Okay, well, let's stay on track. I'd like to introduce our guests on the call tonight, but if you guys, I see a lot of new faces, so I'm just going to start from the beginning here, and we've got some new stuff on the plate tonight, and a little bonus for those that care to come with us. And by the way, the bonus is also effective for any existing members, so just stay tuned towards the end here, and I'll try to respect everybody's time. So first of all, my name is Caesar, and my beautiful wife there that you see there is Sochi, and it's pronounced So-Chi. I think the easiest way is just break it down in two different words, so chill, because she's pretty a chill girl, and that's why I married her. You're about to discover a system that I actually created for her so she can work from home, and exactly in December, it's dear to my heart to say this, going on 4 years now we've been doing this, so this is not something new that we just got started. This is something that a friend of mine at the time showed me the system because I felt like it would fit my wife. And so let's go ahead and introduce our guest on the call tonight. I don't want to take her thunder, but coming up in January, she's going to hit 3 years with us, and she's still cha-ching in here. So Dawn, introduce yourself out there in Arcadia, Florida. Thank you very much for being on the call here with us tonight.
Hey guys, welcome to the call. I'm Dawn, and like Caesar said, I've been around for 3 years and still cha-chinging, and I'm looking forward to sharing some tips and tricks and giving a little bit of insight as to how I have succeeded in this business and how I continue to succeed every day.
Excellent. So just out of curiosity, some quick questions here. You know, what would an additional $10 to $200 a day mean to you and your family? I think Dawn had just shared with me she hit $100 yesterday, which is pretty cool. And that's profits, right, Dawn?
Yes.
Perfect. So, you know, just so you guys know, you're working with the right quality of people. I know some folks may be used to making less. Other folks are used to making more in a day. So, you know, it really depends on your threshold of caliber. Everybody's got different work, work ethics, if you will. And so it really just depends on that person. And I know there's different personalities out there. So please don't listen to me because of the wrong tracks I came from or how I was raised, but listen to the message really, as well as Dawn. You know, we're just here to kind of bring you the message that when we started this system, originally it was just for my wife, and then I said, you know, I think I can share this with folks I care about, and that's why you guys are on here tonight. So that was exactly 3 years ago, well, actually going 4 years in March of next year when we actually started to share this concept with everybody. So I'm going to let Dawn talk about her numbers here. I want to show you her 2014 numbers. This is exactly a year ago. She just sent me the screenshots today. So go ahead, Dawn, and talk about what happened a year ago.
Right. Well, if you can see, this is under my eBay sales log, and this is from July. It's actually July 2014 to September, and they're showing the September numbers. And I can't see it real clear, Caesar. I've got these over 50 eyes going on.
Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys here. Hold on. Wrong way. Okay, there we go.
There you go. There you go. So anyway, if you'll look, and you can see that my average, or that my actual sales for the month of September of last year was $10,788. I sold 204 items, and my average selling price was $52 per item. And then if you will, you can see, also you can see how many items I had listed back then. See the ended items, 3,532 listings, and what are they showing? 5,331 for my ended items. That's what ended in the month of September. Now if you can flash forward to the other numbers that I shared with you today, Caesar, to my current.
So this is your 2015. Yep.
Right. There you go. So I had actually $14,364 in sales in September of 2015, but I only had 377 listings. I ended 1,588, and I sold 488 items. Back to the, what was the Caesar 204?
204, yeah.
And my average selling price was $29. So obviously I've had to rethink, what I was listing. So I'm obviously listing lower priced items, but you can see I have generated double the sales.
Yep, and that's a lot less items as well. You've ended only 377.
A lot less to maintain. A lot less to maintain.
About 1/5 of what you had before. I think you had 5,000 before, right? So let's look back. You had 5,000 listings. Now you're at 1,500. So
exactly.
In that year's time, what have you learned that that was a little bit different from a year ago? What was that changed for you?
Well, the main thing was when we learned about the Cassini, which I'll go into a few of the details about the things that I do with Cassini, but the main thing was that I was basically hurting myself by more listings, because I was thinking back then, my way of thinking was quantity over quality. Well,
sure.
The Cassini way is quality over quantity. So
correct.
By creating the quality listings, you're getting more traffic, which generates more sales, more interest. And obviously you can see that, what I've done just in 1 year.
Perfect. And we'll cover some tips. We have 18 different tips that we put together inside the forum and the inside. Don will cover a little bit more on that later. We're going to talk about the Markdown Manager in a few slides later. So, Don, we can talk about your numbers here. I think this is what you've sold in the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days,
yep.
90 days, and almost 60,000, 120 days.
Exactly. I'm doing, and my little hashtags that I post in the group, and for those of you that aren't with the group yet, I do have hashtags that I put on Facebook, and one of them is daily action, and the second one that follows that up is daily income. And basically what that is just my way of reminding myself that as long as I show up, I open my doors for business, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make sales. And the more that I do that, of course, the sales increase. We can go back to Sunday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, I was taking care of business, but I wasn't taking care of business. I wasn't listing new items. I was relisting, but I wasn't looking at the items that I had listed and comparing my prices and things, and my sales dropped off to 7. And this Monday, when I got back on track and got back into the swing of things, yesterday I had 13 sales. So far today I've had 16 sales. So it just goes back to my little hashtags, daily action equals daily income. And that's basically what it is. As long as if you had a store in your local town, a brick and mortar business, if you didn't open your doors for business, you wouldn't make any money that day. eBay is no different. If you're not, if you don't take the, what do I want to say? Well, if you don't open your doors and do something daily in your business, then your sales are going to fall off. And I know that, and when something happens on personal level that I can't be there, I know that it's going to affect me in 2 days. And it did this week, but I'm back on track, and things are going great, and I'm just happy to be here and help everybody with their business, help them do the things that I do, and just kind of practice the daily routine.
Man, I think you just got a eBay message there. It just came through. Okay.
It was actually a new offer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you still do offers as well?
Well, I only do offers on the items that I personally ship.
Okay.
So,
and feel free, guys, those on the webinar that are actually dialed in. Obviously, if you're on the phone, you're just listening in. But if you're dialed in on the webinar, you can ask questions, and I'll be glancing back and forth so that we can drill Dawn here. So, like Dawn said, you know, I want to move on here. We can cover some of the other details later. Some tools that you will need. You know, we have tools here to help the new person out. You know, when Dawn got started, she utilized the tools, and then she found a niche that worked. And I think for the new person, from my experience of coaching almost 4 years now, the new person should get started at a level where they feel comfortable. So I try to make things simple in the very beginning. You're obviously not going to jump into, you know, $50,000 months here pretty quick in sales. It's going to take time to build that up. And so I like to be upfront and honest. If you've never sold on eBay before, you're not even sure what dropshipping is, we're going to cover that here in a few slides. So some tools that you will need to get started. You have to be familiar with Excel. Actually, I've trained on how to use some of our tools with Google Sheets, which makes it simpler, and then you can be on any type of platform. You can even be on the Google Chromebook. I coach a student doing that. So I've tested that, and that works great. And then what we do is we submit that file into eBay. Now that's one way of doing it. That's called bulk listing. The other way of doing it is doing it by hand, which is how you learn in the very beginning. And so you also got to be open-minded. You know, what I've learned is that what may work for one person may not work for the other person because of personality purposes. You know, I like things that are technical, where other folks might like things that are simpler, and it's just, you know, for me, it makes it exciting. So it just depends on where you're coming from. So we ask you to keep an open mind because your coach may be teaching you what's working for them, and you may be looking for another solution, and that's okay. We're always open to suggestions as well to improve. So an internet connection is always desirable, right? Because you can't have an online business without that. At the time when we started this business, we were living in the mountains, Valley Center, California, and so countrywide, you know, it was about 30 minutes to go to a small town, and there wasn't much for us to do but to make it work. And my wife was a first grade teacher at the time, and she was looking for something else to do, and that's where this concept really fit the idea. So your computer must be running smoothly. I know that sometimes some computers get infected, so I encourage you to do that. Unfortunately, you cannot list from an iPad or an Android. I guess you might be able to do it from an Android because you can do stuff, but I would recommend a full-on Android computer, or a Windows computer, or a Macintosh too, or even Linux if you're doing that. Find out a workout partner. I always think that your workout partner could be your mentor, or you may like somebody else on the team that you collaborate with. It's always helpful to connect with like-minded thinkers. So I like to show this slide because when Dawn and I met, we were marketing different internet products out there, and she was actually one of my marketing students in Craigslist. I believe so, right, Dawn?
Yes.
When we started. And so I like to show this because I tried almost every other business out there model, multi-level to affiliate marketing to internet products. And what I guess there is no better proof than the amount of time we put into this in the last 4 years is that this is the only thing that really has worked for us long term, has been the e-commerce side of the internet marketing side of things, right? I always think that you should be educated a little bit on internet marketing because driving traffic, whether it's through eBay items or your own personal site, it's always important because that's what gets people eyeballs into your listings, your items that you're selling. So if you've ever tried one of these, then you may feel my pain. You know, if you've been in network marketing before, or you're passionate about a product, well, maybe some of these tips may help you move some of those products that you've been, I like to call it garage qualified. You know, you've been storing some of the Amway soaps and juices and stuff in your garage. It's time to learn how to get rid of it. So, history of my entrepreneurship career. I won't go into this too much, but I can tell you that I failed at 4 MLMs. because I was too nervous to face people. I actually hired a coach, a mentor. That's why I highly encourage everybody to hire a mentor to get to their next level. Fortunately, with our system, it's not going to cost you $2,000 to hire a mentor. My number one priority is my family. You know, when I first got started in any type of business opportunity, I think this is what makes you think outside the box. Why are you doing something different than the masses? You know, why doesn't everybody know about this? Some of the common questions I get. Well, I think you got to know your why. My number one why was to be with my family, to have my wife home. She gets to experience that now with the kids, and I got to raise them all. Got to Luke right there in the front, Adam in the middle, and little Caesar making the funny face at the end, and then, of course, my lovely wife, Sochi. We got to go out to Texas about a year ago, and we drove out there in the car. It was kind of fun, and got to experience New Mexico and the states alike. So you got to surround yourself with servant leaders. There is no I should probably clarify this. Servant leaders are people that serve outside of themselves. They don't have the entitlement mentality. Well, you know, I did this, so I should deserve this. You know, in the last 3 years, I don't think I've ever had Dawn come to me and say, Caesar, I've been giving out a lot to the group. Can you give me something in exchange, or can I? You know, she's never slashed my back, and I really want to thank Dawn personally on this webinar because she's been an awesome servant leader. She's gotten out of her way for the team, and she deserves an applause. If you guys want to just type in "Thank you, Dawn" on the chat there, I would appreciate that. And that's why Dawn is still here. She's awesome. I mean, there's no better way to put it. So a servant leader, I would define that as Dawn McIntyre. You know, she keeps it going. So thank you, Dawn, for that.
Thank you.
How much is your time worth? You know, that's the deal. How much is your time worth? Figure out what that is, and then, you know, if you make an extra $4,000 or $3,000 at your job, well, you know, what if you can compress that in a few hours? You know, Dawn gets to do some extracurricular activities, like I think she's even getting into like other products now, and physical products, which is something that we teach as well. And I think that's where it becomes fun. You know, you can expand. You know, Dawn gets into cooking. She rocks the. I mean, she can talk to you more about her hobbies, but I'm sure it's giving you more time, Dawn, now that I think prior to doing this, you were doing your own business in construction, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay. And what does your husband Jesse think about you doing this for so long? I'm just curious.
He actually loves it. I mean, it gives us more time to spend together. We get the garden going, and we've recently gotten into these storage wars where we're buying storage lockers, and it just allows us. I mean, we worked together in the road building business for 16 years, so we've been 24/7 together for all these years, but it just allows us more freedom. It just allows us a little bit more time. You know, I mean, I can walk away from the computer and go spend an hour with him, or, you know, whatever. And it's just, I mean, I just love it. It's great, and he's loving it too.
Awesome, love it. So that is thanks, Matt. Yeah, Matt's giving you some love there in the chat.
Thank you, Matt.
So, you know, welcome to our system, guys. It's the Elite Dropshippers. I am recording this webinar, so you guys can always go back and replay anything that you missed. If you've never seen dropshipping concept, it's the ability for you to sell something that you actually are not stocking on hand. So let's just take a big guy, for example. You know, Walmart may purchase items. That's probably not a good example. But let's think of Amazon as an example. You know, Amazon has a lot of sellers on their site. They don't actually own those items until they sell, and then they get a piece of that pie. Well, it kind of works the same with drop shipping. Here, you'll take an item out of, let's just say, Target. You know, so if I go to Target and I copy a toothpaste kit, that kit costs you $5 on Target. You go list it on your eBay account. I never said you bought it. You just go list it, take the picture, you take the description, and once it sells, the buyer pays you the cash on eBay, you go back and you take their money and you move it from Target to their house right here, and they drop ship it. You never physically touch the product. So it's like you buying the item, turning around, and then selling it again. But you're skipping that portion of it. You're just the middle person in that transaction. So that's called drop shipping. How many times would you want to make a $4 or $5 profit on the smaller end items up to, I've seen folks make as much as $40, $50 plus on higher end items. It really just depends. And we always encourage that brand new person that gets started, because they do hold your funds for 90 days. You don't want to be listing stuff that's expensive, because what happens is if you sell and list stuff that's over $100, then you got to come up with that money first, and then you get the money once it gets delivered. So there is that jail cell for about 90 days. A lot of companies out there aren't teaching this up front, so I like to lay that out on the table. That you want to list stuff that it's affordable for you in the very beginning. Get your account built up. Show that respect, kind of like a credit card, to eBay, that you are a person of your word, that you're going to be moving those products to the customer. And then once it's out of the 90 days and you've produced, I think the rules are still $5,000 or more in sales, then you're out of that jail. If there's any questions on that portion, we can cover those questions towards the end. So why EDS? Like I told you, I built this business for my wife. And she was a first grade teacher who really got tired of driving to work so far and wanted to be home with the kids. And this is something that she can do at any time of the day, which is nice. Why it works? Well, it's a perfect model for shy people. Copying and pasting really leads to sales, and of course, it's kind of nice to get cha-ching sounds on your iPhone when you make a sale. So we are in Q4. This is the busiest season in retail, and as you can see at all the Q4s there, let me zoom in there. I think that's an important slide to zoom in. If you look at all the 4 quarters in red there's peaks, and that's because, as you guessed it, there's holidays happening around this time of the year, right? We got Halloween, then we got Thanksgiving coming around, and Christmas. I mean, who's seen Christmas stuff 2 or 3 months ahead? Hanukkah stuff. So whatever holiday you can imagine, you can list stuff from that, and people buy it. A lot of times, people still buy stuff after the holidays. They think it's out of Christmas sale type of thing. I had a pink Christmas tree I used to sell a lot of last year, and it's beyond me why people want a pink Christmas tree. But do you love marketing online? This is one of the reasons why we built the system, is because if I wanted to keep this information to myself, then you wouldn't be on the webinar. But I wanted to go out and share it. On top of that, I wanted that person to make an income out of this idea. So there's an opportunity attached to this, and we'll cover that here in a few. But we teach you marketing from Craigslist. I just found a nice little new technique that's low cost that you can market on Craigslist to build a nice little marketing concept for your business, either with EDS or with making sales with your items. You can market more of your items, and I think it's kind of cool. And it involves texting for less than 2 cents a text, which is really cool. So I may cover that and update that training here shortly, but for now, let's move on. So some myths about eBay sales. eBay is saturated on sales. I think most people think that there's already a lot of dropshippers on eBay. There's no opportunity, but I can tell you that, just to this day, I still make sales. I do it very part-time because I got a lot on my plate, so eBay is not all I do. But I still produce sales. I think I did 2,500 in sales, 50 items moved in the last month or so, and so my wife handles all my processing. I appreciate her doing that, and I list when I can. But like Dawn said, if you list daily, even if it's just 1 to 5 items a day consistently, you're going to start seeing some traction. You don't have to build it overnight. So need physical products. I just showed you don't need physical products. You can if you want to, but that requires upfront money. And most people that get started don't want to use their own money to capital. They want to leverage other people's money, and that's a great way to scale up a nice full-time business store. It's too much work. Well, it really just depends. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of different personalities. So I don't know what what's the differences, for everybody. But the idea is everybody's personality is different. Some people are very analytical. They got to have all their ducks in a row. Other folks say, let me just throw some bunch of items up on my store and let's see what sells and just knock off what doesn't. That's more of my attitude. I don't go out looking for what other people are selling. I kind of just do my own thing. As an example, last month I sold a lot of Halloween costumes. And so I threw those Halloween costumes up in my store. I also had Halloween accessories like candy bowls and stuff like that. And so I was very niche specific, obviously because of Halloween, and I ran those items for 30 days. And I started right in the beginning of January, and I knew the beginning of October, and I knew by the end of the month I will have X amount of sales, and I wasn't planning a real list because obviously Halloween was over. So, and I did start those in September, so that way I can test between September and October. And I was selling, by mid-September, I was already selling costumes. So keep that in mind for next year. Challenges others are facing, I believe they're missing a coach or a mentor. Dawn is very extremely busy, but she did mention that she can coach about 4 to 5 people this week. Possibly, you'll have to be more specific, Dawn, if you got the time, but I think you can carve some time out and help folks out where they have questions. And I will encourage you tonight for those that came and then were invited by myself, I will give you the opportunity to get support from both Dawn and myself personally, so you'll be signing up with Dawn. If I've invited you, if you're invited by somebody else, I would ask you to get out to that person so that you can respect and they get credit for signing up. So if you heard about our system through, let's just say Matt Wild or Cynthia Parker or anybody else on the team, then you want to make sure you get back to that person because they've been with us for over a few months now. So they have more than enough experience. And of course, you can always ask questions in our forums that we'll cover here in a few. So who's the system good for? It was really created for the struggling internet or network marketer because that's where I came from. I didn't have a system that kept going. And, I'll make a few bucks here and there, but it just wasn't long term. And so I really like this concept because whether you're in January, season or in spring, or whether you're in summer season, it really doesn't matter because items sell no matter what season it is. There's going to be items selling for the summer, items selling for the winter, and the fall, and etc. I mean, just walk down an aisle in Target or Walmart, and you'll see that the items constantly change. Well, that's kind of how you have to treat your store. Build it up. You're going to have your bread and butter items. I like to call them the bread and butter items. Your items that sell constantly. Like I'm selling a lot of heaters, no matter what part of the year, because my store is not just in the U.S. My store is also a global store. We are, I'd say, about 40% since Dawn and I switched over to GSP. 40% of my sales have been GSP, which stands for Global Shipping. Yeah, and so part-timers. If you're just a part-time person like I am, I can't run my eBay business full-time, and I appreciate having my wife. If you don't have a spouse that can help you and believes in what you're doing, then I know some folks that outsource some of their work, and so that's another option. Looking to build that residual on the back end, we're going to talk about a 2-tier affiliate referral system that we have. We aren't a network marketing company, but we are an affiliate company, which means that we don't take 100% of the profits. We like to give it out to the marketing force, just for sharing what we do. I like to think about businesses that are here today and gone tomorrow within 6 months. We've been here for 4 years now, and so it's something you can share. And as long as eBay is around, or Amazon, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. We're still going to be here. We still enjoy this. We like to think of this as something that we can pass on to our children, and e-commerce is not going to go anywhere. And we have the motto of business has really gone from brick and mortar to click and order. Pretty cool, and that's really what's happening here. Stay-at-home moms and dads, that was us. Definitely, we wanted to be home, and college students, people looking for that team support, and then that front-end system that you can really attach to any project. So if you got something else going on, like a business model, well, now you can teach your people how to make some extra cash, and then they can fund their auto ship if they're in a network marketing company or whatever program they're doing. So tonight's tips, little secret tips that we're going to cover is why you want to use a markdown manager. And I'm going to have Dawn talk here about this for a few minutes, and then just really cover, running sales versus bulk changing your prices on your items, because what we used to do that worked a lot, and I still do it here and there, but I'm just kind of still testing. But Markdown Manager is one of the Cassini tips that were on the list of 18, and again, you'll have access to all 18 tips in the inside. But Dawn, go ahead and take it away here with this this Markdown Manager, how it works, why does eBay have it, and has it worked for you?
Absolutely, Caesar. Well, I was actually doing, like you said, changing my prices manually a couple times a day from the time I got started, well, about 6 months in, I guess, to EDS until about, I guess it was about last September. And it was getting time-consuming. I would forget to do it. And then when I would, my traffic would drop off, sales would drop off, what have you. So I decided that I was going to try the Markdown Manager, which basically you have access to the Markdown Manager when you have a store. And what you basically do is you go in and you run a sale. And I run my sales 24 hours. That's the minimum that eBay will allow. So I'll go in and my sales start in the morning, and I'll run them for 24 hours, and I run everything 25% off. So what I had to do when I initially set it up is obviously I had to increase my prices on my listings to allow for that 25% off. And what I figured up, the calculation, it was like to get the 25% off, you have to increase whatever you've got listed 35%. Then after eBay fees, the 25% off, you're basically going to end up whatever your list price is right now. And it just, to me, it works because people see that it's a 24-hour sale, and it creates urgency. And I had played around with it before and did like 5%, 10%, and I would run the sales, for like 2 weeks at a time, and I really never had any traction to it. And it wasn't until, like I said, a year ago in September when I started running a 24-hour sale, 25% off, that my sales increased. I mean, they were running about the same. It was about the same effect as I had when I was doing the change or changing my price a couple times a day. But now I can just set it and forget it. I don't have to worry, do I need to change the change, or did I do it tonight, or I just don't have to worry about it. 24-hour sale. Then when your sale's up, you just go in and create a new one, and it puts your stuff back on sale again. And it's just a set it and forget it. Your stuff's on sale. People are going to see, that it's 25% off, and they're going to see when your sale is ending. So it's going to create urgency.
Beautiful. And have you noticed a change in your ranking? Like, are your items ranked higher because they are in that sale?
I don't really know, because I know that when I search my titles, I know that I'm, pretty high in the rankings, and like a lot of the items that I'm selling multiple times, like today I had one item that I found back in, I would say March or April, and I've sold it 188 times in the last 90 days. I sold it 4 times today. And I don't know I do know that in that case scenario, selling it 188 times in 90 days, I know I'm way at the top of the ranking. I've got to be.
188 times. Wow. Are you maintaining that sales history for that item to show that you sold it 188 times?
No, I am not, because that is one of the things that Cassini does say about which they call it the GTC, good till cancel, listings. And I'm not using that because...
You're not? Okay.
No, because I have so many items that I sell on a daily basis and multiple times daily. And I know I have followers. I know I have trolls. Exactly.
And just learned that word.
I don't I don't want them, if they do, like if they do an item that I'm selling and they search it under best match, if I've sold that item just like that 188 times in 90 days, if they choose that item and they put it under best match criteria, I'm going to fall at the top, and it's going to show 188 sold. I don't want anybody to know that I've sold that item that many times, because then they're going to take that item from me. They're going to cut my prices, and then I'm going to have to constantly monitor my prices on that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I know that the GTC works, and I know that it does boost you higher in the rankings because you're selling it over and over and over again. But for every action, there's a reaction, and the reaction would be, as far as I'm concerned, that you're going to pick up people who are going to steal your items, go and list your items and cut your prices. So I don't want people to know that I've sold it that many times in, that much, 90 days or 30 days or whatever.
Sure. Okay. Any questions on the tips, guys, here? On the GTC, why Dawn doesn't use GTC, or even on the Markdown Manager. I know for a fact that my trolls have stopped since I've been using the no copy code that we included in our bulk listing software. So you can do that by hand. You can copy that code by hand, or you can use the one that's built into the tools, and it's pretty simple. Another topic that I wanted to kind of insert here tonight out of the 18 Cassini tips. By the way, if you guys, the guys that are already involved, you guys can access those tips inside the back office under the members area, the forum, and so you'll see those in the inside. Let's see. Okay, the other topic I want to cover is titles. For titles, what we used to do for titles is fill them up. There's 80 characters in the title. So what Cassini says is don't use all 80 characters for spamming keywords. So 80 characters in the title. For those who don't know what characters are, it basically means you got 80 spaces in eBay's title, the max that you can use. And so you want to use what's called relevant keywords, what's relevant to that item. And so if you're listing your item and it's a white Santa Claus suit, then you want to make sure you put it in Christmas clothing and then white Santa Claus suit, And so it's got to be relevant. And categories at the same time also have to match according to those tips. So you want to make sure that you're very relevant. Our tools do not, because there's so many categories, our tools do not match our categories from where you're grabbing the items from. So that part does have to be manual. Just pay attention to where you're listing those at. Titles as well. You can use the default title. To be honest with you guys, like I said, I'm the guy that likes to just list and go, and so I like to test things out. And I didn't modify my titles. I don't have the time to make them pretty. I used to think that spamming them were the best way to go. But according to Cassini, it says don't go in there and put the same keywords trying to make your items reach the higher rankings. So I just leave them the way they are, and it's probably not the most effective way, but that's I still sold 50 items. So probably again, that's just kind of my testing. That's the way I do it. The training center. So we've added a new location here called the I must be disconnected here, but we've added the forum section, and it's towards the end of this after support. So you'll see like the forum section right there at the end. Let's see, where are we at? For folks that haven't seen our training center before, you get basically to list 5 items by hand, and you kind of show your sponsor. You can do it by hand, or you can use a tool. It's really up to you. But the person that you're being coached by, you want to show them to your sponsor. They're going to give you tips on what's good and what isn't. So keep that in mind. We also have a marketing system. Like I mentioned, you just by becoming a member, you can get an ID. You can get an ID number, and that number is going to give you basically credit for anybody that signs up through your ID. You get a commission. And drum roll, please. This is, I believe, no, not yet. I'm a little early. Okay, Facebook private group. We have a private group here that allows you to really ask questions when you're stuck. And so if you ever have questions, you can post them here, or you can also post them in our forum in the training center. So we have sneak peek at our tools. I use the ASM multi-grabber. So we have a page grabber that grabs items, basically SKU numbers out of Amazon. So if I go for a specific category, just like the costumes, I just go grab a bunch of SKUs and I go list them into our software. It grabs all the item descriptions and item titles and pictures and all that good stuff. Right now what I'm working on is a way for us to modify and save the images automatically. So essentially, talking to Dawn, I asked Dawn, I said, what can we do to help automate the Cassini, the new Cassini way? And she said, if you can find a way to save the images and then modify them by bulk, that would save me a lot of time than having to go through each one. And so what I'm trying to have our programmers do is grab the URLs from the images that we already get and then put the titles into the folders, so that way they're all sorted by folders. And then all you have to do is just go through eBay and then relist them through their, through their system. You know exactly where they're at because they're named by the folder, and the file should be the name the same as your title. So that's kind of the idea. So that's going to be in the works here. But again, I listed things. I didn't modify my images. I listed everything the way the software put out, and we modified some things to make it Cassini friendly, like categories, as well as weights and measurements are added to our listings. And I believe those have helped me rank and produce more sales than before when I was kind of dry. So here's the bonus tonight, guys. This is a separate course. I'm throwing this in for existing members, and anybody that gets started tonight, you get to take advantage of this. I had this idea about, I know Matt, you were on the webinar. I want to say it was about 3 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. But sometime around the middle of the summer, I had this idea because I started a store, and I'll show you guys the Facebook group. I believe Matt was on that webinar, and I told them, I'm going to start doing the training modules, and I launched the concept here not too long ago. But I want everybody to have access to branding yourself, because at the end of the day, one thing I learned on the internet, this is back in 2009, is that you want somebody to love your brand, to like you. And so I built something called Brand My Store. Basically means Brand My Store is that you build your own brand. And so wherever that brand is, you can add that domain name, which is what I teach you here. You can add that to your eBay sales, your eBay store. That way people know who you are. So when they go Google your name, they'll find you. As well as if you're selling stuff on Amazon. If you already have an Amazon store, the beautiful thing about this is, if we look at our benefits here, is that you save that 15% that Amazon charges. You also save that 12% that eBay charges. So you don't have to calculate those on your sales. So if we look here, I've actually used I used a plugin that allows you to use our software to bulk list into your own personal store. So just imagine having your store. Here's one of my shops. I can pull that up real quick. I think I just cleared the items out because of Halloween. I had Halloween costumes before, which is called Party Supply Factory. My internet's really slow, so I'm not even sure if it's going to load. Here is one of my other stores. Are you guys able to see my screen, Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Here's a store where I sold some TV boxes, and that month I made close to $18,500 bucks. That's a $350 sale. I my cost is 120, and this is something that I was actually drop shipping from. So I actually took the money first, and then I went out and bought the inventory and then shipped it to the customer. And so I physically shipped it, but it made sense because I was 57 items I sold. So this is my own personal store that I built. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet here. It's acting up weird. Let's see. Okay. Let me try going direct. Let's see if that works. It's not working. Okay. It could be my internet. It's weird. I'm using a public internet, so I could have been kicked off. All right, so I'm throwing this bonus in, guys. It's not going to cost you anything extra, just more education. If you want to build your own store, this is a great opportunity to do it. I was going to sell this course for $4.99, so basically $500, and I'm just throwing that in there. I figure that's going to be a nice little bonus for you guys. So here's an example. If you make a $100 sale, you're saving $15 from Amazon. That Amazon would have taken. So it may not be like a lot of money on that sale, but multiply that by 50, 60 items that you sold, and that adds up a lot. So you get the idea. So here's our model. It's pretty simple. All right. It's a two-tier affiliate system. So that means that first tier you get 50%, second tier you get 10%. Pretty cool, right? So what that means is what does our system actually cost, so you can kind of do the math on what you make. Well, you have two options. We have two different packages here. Our basic level, which covers Amazon and Overstock training. You also get a mentor. In this case, Dawn. If if you were invited by myself or Dawn, you would get Dawn as a mentor, or whoever you invited you would get that person as a mentor. You get two title builders, basically how to go find keywords that are relevant to your items. You get Amazon keyword data mining, you get an Amazon SKU data mining, Amazon page data mining, Overstock page and SKU data mining, a private group, team support. You get an Amazon price and stock checker. This has saved me a lot, especially in highly holiday seasons, because I took down stuff that was out of stock. So that was pretty cool. Item clicker software, and I still use this because this is basically sending traffic to letting your items know that, or letting eBay know that your item is getting loved. That's our basic level. It's $397 today, and then $97 a month. So if you're to do the math on our affiliate system, you can sponsor 2 students, and it pays for your membership, both on the upfront and monthly. On the advanced side, that covers automation for larger stores. You get more education on Kmart, Walmart, just more stores and more tips there. Amazon top seller data mining, low quantity software trick and automation. FBA, basically how to sell on Amazon. So I know some companies are charging $1,000. I know there's another one that's $3,000. I'm going to add a new section here called private labeling. Right now, the current education teaches you how to go find deals, and then that's exactly how I started exactly a year ago in October of last year. My wife and I started going out hunting on stores and finding deals by using this software on our cell phones, and it would scan and check what was cheaper and if it made sense to buy it, so we can flip it on Amazon. And we love Amazon for selling stuff because you can throw a bunch of items into a box. They do the shipping, and they take care of all the customer service for you. So it's a very, very nice little business, and we still sell on Amazon to this day. And then we've done fairly well with Amazon as well. So that's FBA. If you want to learn about private labeling, again, that course is coming later on. That will be added to the advanced section. And private labeling means that you go out and create your own SKU, your own listing, and you can make your own item, your own products, which is pretty cool. So let me see if my Google works. I'll show you a product I made last year, and I can't sell it anymore, so I'll show it to you. Must be my Chrome. I think I saw something about my scratch drive was full, so that's probably what it is. I probably used too much data, or too much of my Chrome. Yeah, it's acting weird. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So there's your two options, guys. You can do the elite diamond level. which is $597 today and $149.99 a month. Again, if you're to decide to be a marketer, you have to be an active member, and you can refer folks, and that can be a nice little check for you. You know, if you just do the basic level, and you sell that, you market it. Let's just say you market it on Craigslist, then that'd be an additional $200 for you up front, and then $50 a month on that 50%. You know, refer 2 or more people, then it's cash flow for you. So that's exactly the system that we built as an opportunity for that person can go out and make some additional income, and you can go out and buy some products if you want to start hosting your own products as far as inventory that you want to sell. So this area covers, the events section covers Kmart, Walmart, and then we have an Amazon top seller, which basically goes out and finds top selling people that are not optimizing their titles from Amazon. They're selling items from Amazon, and I've used this to go out and find their hot sellers, which is a pretty cool little program. So we're coaching 10 people this week. You know, Don can take on 5, I can take about 5 on, and I know we had like 50 folks registered to the webinar. Some of those were already active members in EDS, but the link for that, I'm going to drop it into the room here, is elitedropshippers.com ATM, and you guys are welcome to, let's see. I don't even know if it doesn't go through. Hopefully it does. My computer isn't acting up. I probably should have cleared my cache here before I got started. Did that link go through, Don?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just that's just a survey, guys, to for folks if you want to let us know more about you. If you're like a no-fluff person like I am, you just want to get started, then you can use this link. If we referred you, I'm going to give you Don's link. Don, what's your number again?
I want to say 5, Caesar. Let me log in and check.
Okay, while you check that, and I won't drop the link there, that's the link to basically get started, guys, and get rocking. So that's the immediate steps to take. The immediate steps to take action is just fill that form out. If money is a big issue to you right now, and you're like, hey, you know what, you guys are well priced, a lot better than the other guys that are more expensive, but I just don't have that kind of money right now, that's okay. Just fill out the form, let us know you have interest, and we'll keep you in the loop. And we'll definitely want to know where you're at as far as what businesses you've tried and that kind of good stuff. So some final steps here. You got some cash in your account, so profit-wise. I know a lot of people have paid off their credit cards that have been accumulating. If you want to quit your job, if you want to go travel, fly, or live the RV lifestyle, which was one of my goals. I saw somebody do it here in the team, and I said, I want to do that. I think that'd be kind of cool to go travel and go camping. I'm an Eagle Scout, and this business has really allowed us to go out and live that kind of lifestyle. Spend more time with your family. Buy the car or the house you've always wanted. We've actually done both of these. We actually got to buy our house. We're going on 2 years in November in a wine country called Temecula, California. We've lost it all back in the 2008 crash. So I'm not ashamed to say that because, you know, we learned from our mistakes. We learned to stop overspending and just, live humbly. And, if you want to give back to your favorite charity, then you can do that, or you can go start one, wherever that passion is for you. I want to show you some of the stuff I got to do with my kids. This is a recent picture I took with my sons. I got 3 boys, like I mentioned earlier. My wife was at a church retreat that weekend, which was actually this past weekend. And I got to go out and spend a nice few days with actually it was just a night with my kids because they don't last very long out camping. But we picked up an RV to re-innovate, and I really wanted this particular RV. We got to find it at a good price, and my wife did a great job of re-innovating the inside to kind of modernize it. And so I got to camp out with my boys and really have that man-to-man talk that I've been wanting to have with them for a while. So it was the first weekend away from Mom for about 3 days, and she got to go hang out and get right with God first. That was her goal. I did it a couple weeks before that. And we're on a whole different level of mission for us. Before we were living a lifestyle of trying to please everybody, I guess, if you will. And I found out that that's totally out of my control. I'm just want to go out and just touch people with this opportunity and really allow them to go chase their dreams. On the right-hand side, that's one of my hobbies. It was weird. About a year ago, my son turned 10. He's 11 now, October 19th, and I asked little Caesar. I said, "Hey, what do you want to do? What do you want for your birthday?" He's like, "I want to build an arcade with you, Dad." I'm like, "Hey, that's kind of cool." I've always had a passion for woodworking stuff, and so I went on Craigslist, found a few arcades that were cheap, and started to re-innovate them for his gift. And some guy on YouTube saw my work, and he says, "Hey, I want to buy that arcade you made off your son. Do you want to sell it? I'll offer you $2,000." I'm like, "Wow, I think we got something here." So, 10 arcades later in the last year that we built, it's been kind of a cool little hobby / business on the side that we get to spend some of our profits from eBay. We wouldn't be able to buy these arcades without the profits that we would have gotten because of the extra cash that we had. So it's kind of cool. So, those are my hobbies. You got your own passions, whatever that is for you. Will you be our next success story? I don't know. You'll have to let us know. Dawn has a link. If you're ready, Dawn, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ref number 5.
5. There you go. So she is number 5 on the team. There's the link, guys. EliteDropShippers.com, and then it's !ref ID = 5. If you're not dialed in, you're listening in on the phone. That's the link there. You can message Dawn also on Facebook if you want to ask her a few questions. That is it for me tonight, Dawn. Is there any questions that I can answer for anybody in the chat? If not, go ahead, Dawn. I'll let you close out here.
Well, there is one thing that I wanted to bring up. This is pretty much to everyone who is currently selling on eBay. eBay is really cracking down on duplicate listings. So what my advice to you is to check your listings once a week to make sure you do not have duplicates, because there is a glitch in eBay system, and they do occasionally tell you that a listing has ended when it really hasn't, and you'll go ahead and relist it. And sometimes if it falls through the cracks, it will get duplicate listed. And I know that I'm not one of them, but I do have several personal friends who have been suspended and put in eBay jail where they could not relist or list any new items for a week. So my advice to you is to give your store a check once a week for duplicate listings.
Awesome.
And I can
additional? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I can. Will you be able to log into maybe one of your eBay accounts, Caesar, and I can show you the easiest way to find duplicate listings within your.
Let me see if I can hand you the baton, because my computer is out of space.
I don't think I can take it, Caesar, because remember I have Norton.
Oh, did I give you trouble last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go through a whole bunch of downloads and things to be able to do the baton. Basically, if you want to just make a note on how to do this, if you go into your active listings, where they're all showing up like in a list of them. If you go in there and you click on the very top where it says title, what that will do is it will sort your listings by title. And what eBay looks for in duplicate listings is they're looking for the exact title and the exact picture. So if you sort your active listings by title, it's going to pull up, you're just going to be able to scroll down them really quick. I can do mine, and I've got like 350 listings, and I can do them in about 5 minutes, check for duplicates. Because all you're doing is scrolling down, looking for the identical picture back to back. 9 times out of 10, when you see that, you're going to have a duplicate listing, just end one of them. And my advice is, like I said, check your listings weekly, end them before eBay does. Because if eBay does it and they do it enough, they will suspend you. And they've really been cracking down lately.
Wow, okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, my My internet's not even going out to the web right now. Must have been kicked off here, but any questions on that tip, guys? Any questions from Victor, Lysandra, George, David, Claudia? We got both Claudias on, out in Colombia. Awesome. Good to see you girls on here. Great advice, Don. Thank you. From Cynthia. Awesome. So we're approaching. This is going to be a busy month for sales, as well as next month, obviously, because of Christmas. But Black Friday is around the corner here after Thanksgiving, and make sure to utilize the advanced section if you get a part of the advanced section on those tools, because my wife and I, on Black Friday, I asked her, I said, what do you want to do? She's like, let's go scanning. So I was like, all right, let's go. So that was our date. We went out scanning, and we loaded everything up on a $1,000 Walmart credit card and bought inventory. We knew it was going to sell, and sure enough, knocked all that out, paid off the credit card within 30 days, because we knew all those items were going to sell before Christmas, just by the ranking numbers. And anyway, it's a fun little deal. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like physical products, that's definitely the way to go. So that's all taught in the advanced section. Any additional questions can be directed to Dawn or myself. We are on both Facebook, as well as you can always go to elitedropshippers.com, and down at the bottom open up a support ticket, and we'll be happy to assist you. And Dawn's Facebook can be found at, well, go ahead and drop your Facebook link there, Dawn.
Okay.
For some reason, Facebook works, so I'll do it for you real quick.
I got it.
So obviously tonight I'm promoting Dawn big time, because she's been giving back a lot of support, and I want her to be compensated for it. So we encourage you guys, if you seen this recorded or seen this live, definitely get to Dawn, and she'll be happy to coach you. So thanks for posting that, Dawn.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think Claudia has a question.
Got a question, yeah. Claudia, actually, my profit margin was about 20%. So basically what I do when I'm listing a new item, like if I'm listing from Amazon, I just did a scrape yesterday, I basically mark it up 95%, and then I run my 25% off sale. Is basic. So if you take Amazon's price, say their price is $10, so you multiply that by 1.95, that gives you your price to list it at, and then you go in, once your listing is active, then you can go in and do your markdown manager and mark it down 25%. And it'll give you a pretty good profit, about 20%. I think I run 18 to 20% profit margin on most of my sales.
Does that make sense, Claudia? Sweet.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, there we go.
Another eBay message, huh?
No, that was another sale. That was number 19 for today.
Congratulations, Dawn. Good job.
Maybe going on a $200 day today. That would be nice.
That would be nice. Congratulations. Any additional questions, guys, while we have Dawn here? I'm going to open up the lines. If not, we'll wrap up.
You are now unmuted.
Or bad. All right. Who do we have on the line tonight? Any questions on the phone here? Going once, going twice.
You are now muted.
Okay, Don. Sounds like
everybody good?
I think we're good. It went good.
Great.
So,
Well, thanks for having me, Caesar. I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody got some use out of what I've offered tonight, and I welcome all you new members to the team in advance.
Absolutely. Yeah, welcome to the team, guys. And this recording will be going out. I know I got a few messages from folks that couldn't be on tonight, so I'll be mailing this out here as soon as it's done processing. And you guys have a fantastic night. Dawn, thank you so much. You're always a blessing to have on.